We're live. We're live. That was Mr. Knotts.
As opposed to the opposite.
As opposed to the opposite.
Yeah.
Come on in, everyone. We see you out there. We know Marvi is already listening live this morning. Marvi, we love you. We real happy that to look at your campaign. He says, hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm at work listening to the show.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Thanks for the shout out on Livewire on Tuesday. See you soon.
Always a pleasure, sir.
I'm going to try to do a little bit higher energy show than Tuesday. We'll see how it goes. Good morning, everybody. Come on in.
Higher energy at 9 a.m.?
Yeah.
What?
It's only 9 a.m. on the East Coast and most of the Midwest. So.
Right, yeah.
Out in California, it's still 6 in the morning. Come on in, everybody. Marvi is in the middle of his afternoon.
Yeah.
Trico says, good morning, breakfast buzzers.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Professor. I hope you're doing well. We have the coffee pouring. The wife walking around upstairs. So if you hear any creaking. Daphne's in her studio this morning with her bird. So if you hear any beeping.
Yeah. Any garbage trucks, and stuff like that, that's them.
It's a Thursday morning, the 7th, the 29th of July.
Weren't
We're at the end of the month in the middle of the year. At the end of the month in the middle of the year. Holy crap.
We're already,
past the middle of the year.
Yeah. Jesus. We're gonna take a nap while the coffee is.
We're just having a pregnant pause here as I fill my face.
Yeah.
Last minute breakfast burrito munching.
Yeah. I mean, there's just been so much going on. I mean, it's like I've been working nonstop, and it's gotten to a point I have to wear my arthritis gloves, so I got to chill for a little bit.
And it only gets crazier from here too.
Yeah.
Sarah in the house this morning. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for listening in. We don't know who else is coming in this morning. I threw out a bunch of links and pardon me. If you're out there and you want to talk or promote a campaign this morning, my Facebook page, just go over there and PM me, and we might send you a link. Or we might not.
Right. Yeah.
The coffee's on. Yeah, come on in, folks.
Varian is at the Liberty Warehouse again today, so he's not going to be in.
Waiting for a truck that should have been there yesterday.
Well.
So then I ran all the way down there to get copies of comics because everybody's excited about Liberty and their advancements.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom, no truck. They were sitting 20 minutes away at a warehouse hub, shipping hub. Fantastic. 20 minutes.
Well, at least you'll know for sure you'll get them today, because usually when they skip a day, it's pretty sure the next day they deliver it.
Don't even say that.
Wow.
Don't even say that. That's a great way to jinx everything. Hopefully, Varian has the link this morning, so he might call.
Right.
He might call in. If he does, he'll be on his phone.
Right.
And give us a report. We are so eager to get those books in.
Yeah, yeah.
Sarah said good morning twice.
Oh, that's fine.
Not fully awake yet. Neither are we. That's why
we're not. Yeah,
that's why we pour the coffee.
Yeah,
That's why we pour the coffee this morning. It's her story, and she's sticking to it. Okay. We're gonna run the opening, and then see if we can find business we can get down to.
Yeah.
There we go. We're just going to run a string of little videos here, and then we'll run the opening, and then I should run the ad. Yeah, that would be good. And then we'll pick it up from there. See you in a minute. Here we go.
Hey, it's Belle from Liberty Entertainment Distribution. We've got quality indie comics in hand ready to ship to you now. Yes, really. And it gets better. At Liberty, publishers set their own wholesale pricing, and we don't take any fees, so don't wait. Call or visit me today at ledg.us or call 1-800-525-2091.
Daphne, do we have something we want to add to this?
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
What the fuck is the matter with people in this business?
Comics are awesome.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
We're all good.
That last clip is pretty much the vibe we're running on right now.
That's why I ran it.
Short up the console.
Yeah. That and I felt a little bit of this yesterday.
How dare you?
No, for real. For real.
Come on in, everybody. We're about to shut the coffee off.
Yeah.
And
because you're gonna love what those books look like. I swear. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Sarah says, "Whoa, that video about rewards is amazing. Who created it? You're talking the Indie Volt awards. That was Varian.
Yeah.
Varian went through and did that. We are all looking forward to that. Here, let me shut this coffee off. It only pours for so long. No, it pours forever. There we are. Hey. Yeah, the awards we're really looking forward to September 18th at Dave & Buster's in Sterling Heights, which is close to Detroit, here in Michigan. The future awards will be at other Dave & Buster's all throughout the country. We're really looking forward to that too. We're out to raise awareness and respectability for the alternative and independent comics, because that's really where the cutting edge art is at the moment, and we want to bring as much attention to the best stuff out as possible. So Varian tried to create these awards a couple years ago until the bug popped up, and it was one of those. He had somebody else pop in and try to do a messy award show online that turned into a fiasco and a month-long ordeal, pretty much. And Dave & Buster's, Varian had already talked to about sponsoring the event. Once the pandemic looked like it was getting close to being over, they contacted Varian again, and they said, we have to do these awards. And Varian already had a couple of other sponsors, national, international, actually. Speaking of international, we're adding Russ Leach to the conversation. Russ, how are you?
Hello. I'm fine, thanks.
Hey.
Hi, Daphne.
Good morning. Well, good morning from over here.
Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon.
For you, sir.
Good afternoon, good sirs.
Well, I'll introduce ourselves here in a second, but Varian had already had a few sponsorships lined up. Dave & Buster's was real interested in doing it, and then he decided to do it, even though during the pandemic he had already gone out and made a few other plans to do a lot of other different things, like getting Liberty off the ground and a number working more on Indie Volt. And this is just one more thing that is added into his roster of work. So by the end, the award ceremony.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
So if all of this goes off as planned, small miracle, but if all of this goes off as planned, it's going to be an amazing last half of the year for Liberty, for Indie Volt, Plus, IndieVolt just passed their 1,000th subscriber over on YouTube.
Yay!
Which reminds me, this morning I heard from someone who was a real regular listener of the program who was looking for last night's Geekgasm, couldn't find it. And he found out that he wasn't subscribed on YouTube any longer, even though he's been a loyal listener of IndieVolt forever.
Well, sometimes that happens where they accidentally, they're cleaning up bots and stuff, and they accidentally.
I don't know that the YouTube stuff is as nefarious as sometimes it appears to be. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, understanding how difficult algorithms are to produce. There may be, the algorithms may be weighted.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as nefarious as, I'm taking that off now. I don't think they have enough staff to do that.
Right. They really don't. That's why everything is run by bots on YouTube. I mean, they're a multi-billion-dollar company and they only have like 1,000 employees.
Which is pretty awful when you think about it.
Right, exactly.
Well, it's also kind of like me getting my car serviced and the next day something else going wrong. It's just there's a lot of coincidence there that is like, come on, folks. So if you are subscribed, sometimes if you are subscribed to IndieVolt, make sure you go over to YouTube and make sure that you're still subscribed over there. Please hit that bell for notification.
Yeah, hit that bell.
We want to thank everybody for listening. What, you're laughing? Not the Liberty.
I'm just laughing at the critical blast comment. Sorry.
Oh well.
Oh, sorry. I got to turn my comments back on.
You see, that's why I don't read the comments during the show, because they're just completely distracting sometimes.
Yes, we'll get to that in a second. And right now, we just want to introduce ourselves. Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody out there listening on YouTube and IndieVolt Radio. We're going to add Meredith right now, real quick. Meredith, we're just getting around to introducing ourselves. Good morning.
Good
morning.
Hi, Meredith.
Hello.
I'm your host, probably your primary host today, Randy Zimmerman. I've been doing comics, independent and alternative comics for decades. Done just about everything in the direct market that you can imagine. Retailed for a good decade. Met my wife while I was retailing. Also coordinated conventions for well over 10 years, even though they were small shows. They weren't really big shows, not like what Mark Hodges does for the Grand Rapids Con. Holy crap. Then I would have even more gray hair than I have now. Not that I have a lot, but done just about everything that you can imagine. Yeah, there you go. Done just about everything that you can imagine in this business, and then some. Real happy to be part of the IndieVolt Radio Network. And right now I'm trying to resurrect Arrow Comics. Well, I am resurrecting Arrow Comics 4.0. Russ, we almost had books yesterday. We were this close to having books.
We have a truck. We have a truck that will Randy will be there going, it's alive! It's alive!
No, hopefully
Varian the way all these comics come.
Will it be like when you see like the Vegas commercials, you see the money on the bed and you're just rolling in it,
Except it's comics.
Yeah.
Not quite yet, but almost. Only it's comics. Yeah. That might be Varian later today. We're not sure. So, all depends. But yeah, there are 3 pallets literally 20 minutes away from the warehouse that the shipping company, who for now shall remain nameless, still has yet to deliver, even though they promised that it was supposed to be delivered yesterday. So, but today, supposedly between 9 a.m. and noon, Varian will get a visit at the warehouse and 3 pallets dropped off and ready to go. So
nice.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking. We were thinking that yesterday, but hey, okay. Anyway, Arrow Comics starting in August, which is like 2 days away.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll be offering, as long as those pallets get dropped off, we'll be offering through Liberty Distribution 4 titles a month for retailers to order on, almost like on demand. You place your order, the comics go into a box and are shipped out to you like the next day to go right to your shop, to be unpacked by you, bagged and boarded already, to be put on shelves or pull lists and available to your customers. Instant, hopefully, profit, depending upon your customers coming in. And the books that we're doing, we're really proud of. The Luke Stone's Hybrids will be number 1. We'll have a number 1. and he's currently working on issue 10, so you don't have to worry about whether or not there's going to be a next issue or if it'll be out on time. He's on issue 10. So also we're doing HeroBot Zero, which I'm currently finishing up. Actually, I'm currently working on issue 2 right now. Russ Leach's Only Death Can Save Us.
Guaranteed, devoid of ideology, and 100% fun.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, I got a sneak peek at the actual book. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Oh, you don't lie. You've seen the books. We're all jealous.
Yeah, I've seen. Yes,
We're
I
all
have.
jealous. Look at that. Look at those. That backup. Look at that backup in that book. Incredible.
Have you looked through the second one yet?
I have I haven't.
No, I'm sorry, Russ. I haven't.
Top the first one. So
that's good. That's good.
Oh, they get the sneaky peek, huh?
Yeah.
I gotta be honest,
I'm
Russ.
a little bit jealous.
I got about 4 or 5 weeks before I have to worry about making sure that's right, and I know that you're a professional. So
thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Oh, and by the way,
I know it's gonna look good. I'll put it together as quickly as possible.
The Indie Vault Revolt.
That's the 4th book. Yeah.
No, but the one that was crowdfunded on Indiegogo, that book is hot. I swear, I was flipping through it and I was just floored by it.
But the other book isn't that good.
Oh, it's skinny. The other book is skinny, but this one was like nice and big and juicy.
Yeah, it's thick, juicy, thick.
That will be broken down into the direct market version, but
not all of it. Not all of it will. There's a lot of those stories that aren't going to make it. So that for one reason or another I've been asked to just leave it for the book and just
there you go, exclusives.
So there are a number of stories that'll be exclusive only to the Indie Vault book. So we are looking for more material for the 32-page direct market version of Indie Vault Revolt. That'll be fun. But the first issue's done. I have 4 pages yet to fill on the second issue, which is due like in 2 days. So which I kind of have reserved it for myself.
Does that mean I get a little bit of leeway on the next one?
No.
Oh,
absolutely not.
Stick to your schedule. Always stick to your schedule.
Damn it.
I was going to ask probably off camera how the second Only Death Can Save Us campaign was going.
It's probably going to start in October now rather than September, but I still have a hard deadline with issue 4. So I must get at least 32 pages done by start of November. So second book will be coming out in February next year.
You don't want to have that overlap on the money that you'll make off of the campaign. So you want that book out before.
Yeah, it's not so much about money. It's more about making sure that everybody's
servicing the fans.
Getting the book is getting more than they would be able to go and get from the direct market at that same moment in time.
Right.
Yeah. So I have no choice. I'm just not going to get much sleep at the end of the year. That's all.
Yeah. Same
Those
here.
Deadlines. I think Russ. I think it was you that said it was either deadlines or money that's going to make you finish up the project.
Exactly. That's about the size of it. It's one or the other. You haven't got any choice.
Understood. Then in September, there's another 4. There's Indie Vault Revolt number 2. There's Hybrids number 2. And then there's Paragon number 1, which is a superhero book I'm very excited to introduce to people. Hope people enjoy it. It's a fun, twisty little superhero book. Meredith's seen that.
Yeah. Now, hey, do you want to kind of give people an idea? Like, are you accepting submissions for Indie Vault Revolt?
We are looking for complete short stories of quality, black and white work, especially from anybody who's an Indie Vault contributor or listener. Mm-hmm. It is called Indie Vault Revolt, after all, and we really want to show off the talent of the people that you hear and see here on the podcast first. But we're looking for other folks as well. Good stuff, because like, for example, the cover for Indie Vault Revolt number 1 is the Jetpack Girl cover that Chris Skelf did, and Chris took the art and toned it up a notch, added more detail, added more depth to the look of the book, even though I had to put a little bit more verbiage around it. And it turned out it's really a great piece. But Chris is also the kind of person that doesn't go out and do podcasts. So he hasn't been on Indie Volt Revolt, but he's so talented and so amazing in his work. If you ever get a chance to go over and visit his YouTube channel, he has a few instructionals on how he works. He is a Photoshop painter, to say the least, and does a lot of storyboard work for advertising and a lot of animatics work for advertising houses. That's short animation pieces that show how the commercial would actually look once it's filmed. And a lot of times the director will just take the animatics and just shoot it directly. So he cuts down a lot of the guesswork as far as commercial work goes.
Yeah, I've seen some of his work. I've seen some of his work, and it was just like, that's a photograph.
And I was hoping to get a title from him, but he's been so swamped with other work because the last year's situation has thrown everything into such an array that some people are incredibly busy and some people aren't. And he's one of those that's just incredibly busy right now.
It's stunning to see how things have changed over the last 18 months.
Really.
I don't have any time at all now.
I know you've been telling us you've been approached by a lot of outside people for
I've been approached by older clients coming back and a couple of new leads as well, and you know, some of it you just have to say no to some of it. It's terrible. If everything all comes off, I'm going to have to employ people. It's just terrible.
Yeah, you get a chance to work for Rebellion, though. You should probably take it.
I just find it amazing how it just feels like we've been living a lifetime in the last 2 years.
Yeah, pretty much. And it just seems like it's getting crazier as it goes on. That there's everybody's now threatening with more restrictions, and there's talk of more variants and all of this. Not variants.
Well, you know,
that would be interesting. More variants.
I hear that stuff and I go, another lockdown? Yeah, bring it on. I got work to do. Bring on the other lockdowns. Come on. I could use another lockdown.
Just insanity.
It's a really good time to be in comics.
It
really is. You know, in indie comics specifically.
Yeah.
It's the new golden age.
It really is, and it only took 30 years in a pandemic to do it.
Well, it was coming anyway before the pandemic. It's just that it's emphasized it because comics have always been, and there's a classic quote out there. I just circulated on Facebook like a week or so ago from Alan Moore. Always been a middle class art form. It was meant to be a middle class art form. Originally meant to be very disposable, but very entertaining at the same time. And now it's looked at as a true art form, and that art does take time. Good art, especially quality art, takes quality time. So you're seeing some incredible quality pieces out there.
That separates it from its middle class roots, because it's like everybody should have access to beautiful artwork. To artwork, to entertaining artwork. Everybody should have access to that.
Absolutely. But it also means that you have a little bit of stigma to get past. Like when folks look at a cover price and go, how come this thing's $5 when they used to be a dime? It's like, well, you forget, McDonald's hamburgers used to be a dime too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And all of that's inflation as they've gotten older. Everything seems to change except for the people's perception of the price point for comics.
Yeah.
It's
really
crazy.
the Walmartification of what we do too, where it's like everybody does it. It's like, it's one is inflation, but also at the same time, people don't understand the cost of things.
I think the
because
Walmart
they're
books
so
are...
used to they're so used to like t-shirts costing $5 without taking into consideration that it's like, well, because it's based on slave labor and all that fun stuff. And,
that's
so it's like, so they think so when they see a $15 t-shirt, they freak out. So so it's like it's the people who like they're used to going to their local comic book store and they see, I don't know, a mainstream comic for $4.99 or whatever it's going for, and then they go on Kickstarter and they'll say, why are these things $25?
I know the Walmart books are $4.98.
Right. Oh,
$4.99.
But then they go on Kickstarter and they go, why are these things like $20? Why is one issue $20? And it's like, it doesn't occur to them that it's a completely different animal we're looking at, that it's a completely different set of circumstances on crowdfunding that creates this monetary difference. But also you're getting something else too as a result.
Why is it more expensive when you go down to I don't know, a craft fair or antiques market or something, and you pick up something that hasn't been mass produced? And it costs you an extra 30-40% of the thing that was mass produced. And you buy it because you think, I like that. It's nice. And I can see the craft that's gone into it. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's just getting people to think that way about books and comics.
Go out there and try to buy a giant size X-Men #1 for 50 cents.
Yeah.
See how that works.
The beautiful thing about the indie comics, though, is that like these days now you have people who are distributing like Liberty Entertainment, where indie comics are welcome. Then just the independent creator to be able to go out and get things published, and it's not as cost prohibitive as it used to be. So that's open. Then you have platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, where you're like, oh, okay, it's just like that. It's the kick that you need to launch a campaign. I mean, they're brilliant. They're brilliant platforms because you can probably take your comic and publish it on Amazon, and I'm sure some people have because they don't have the capacity or the resources to send it to a printer, or they want that mass market, because Amazon is worldwide, so that's always an option, and it's not looked down upon as much as it used to be. It's the same thing with books,
Well, it's the same thing with crowdfunding too. When crowdfunding first kicked up, it was looked down upon.
Yeah, it really was.
And then suddenly people were making money.
Yeah.
And then they were making serious money, and people stopped looking down on it.
Yeah.
But Russ has stepped off of the camera, but we should everybody else should introduce.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Because I have
my co-host today is Daphne Lage. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Daphne.
So, hello, my name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. Well, I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, so I kind of sort of know what I'm talking about. And I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which the Kickstarter should be going up for Volume 2 very soon. I just got to tweak a couple of things, and we should have that running. And I'm also known for my fantasy soap opera drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which I just finished sending out all of the rewards. So thank you, everybody, for supporting my comic. And by the way, there's if you go to eagleworks.com, there's a launch page to get notified when the campaign for issue 3 goes live in September. So don't forget to check that out too. You can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and eagleworks.com. Again, the pre-launch page link is at the site. And you can check out all my videos on how I make comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art.
That's EgoWorks, EGOWORKS.com for our radio audience. Yes. Also joining us from across the pond, Mr. Russ Leach. Russ,
good morning to everybody in the States. I think Daphne's also extremely well known for her rants, which I personally enjoy immensely. There's nothing like a good rant from Daphne. Yes. Lovely panel we have here today. Fantastic talent. Hello from the UK. We're all still. Look at that. Coffee and rant. You gotta love it.
Well, actually, if you want to maybe hedge your bets on a rant, I'm going to be on Rabbi from Another Planet on Saturday. So
double rant, treble rant.
Let's see what happens.
extra jealous there.
The rabbi is the rabbis. I was abused a little bit for being on the rabbi's channel. But I'm sure
take
my
them.
my political opinions and even my religious opinions do not concur with those of the rabbi. But he's it's perfectly acceptable for having his own opinions on his own channel, and I'll speak to anyone who's going to be nice to me. And he was very nice to me. He's a very, very jolly man.
Yes, he's a pisser,
very jolly.
So yeah.
He's full of energy. You got to say that he's full of energy. Yeah. So hello from the UK. We're all still completely bonkers here. Things have gone completely mad, but at least we're able to go back and drink in a pub or watch the football, which is all that really matters. I've been drawing comics since I was a kid in my mind. But apart from a brief scrape with Marvel in the mid-90s, I went off and had my career and came back and started drawing at comics in anger in 2010. I have been doing so since, and since then managed to work a little bit for Marvel, for Cartoon Network, the BBC, did some Doctor Who and bits and pieces. So now I draw my own comics, especially for Arrow Comics. And you can find out more about that at onlydeathcansavus.com, find out more about me at rustleach.com and comicbookblackbelt.com, and let's get on with the show. Enough.
We'll be covering more of that on this episode of Sunday Funnies coming up Sunday morning. So we'll talk more about Arrow, what's coming up with it, and what's going on, the nuts and bolts of Liberty and getting it out there in front of retailers and into the customers' hands. So also joining us this morning, rare appearance by Meredith Logren. Meredith, how are you?
Good morning, Meredith Logren here. Yeah, I cracked open one eye and I looked at my phone and I saw an invitation. I was like, oh, crap, did I miss a meeting? Here we are on BrEaKfAsT, BuZz. You're lucky I changed my shirt.
Randy changed his shirt.
I did. I changed my shirt.
So I am one of the co-founders of
I listened to
Ragin'.
Geekgasm last night, and it takes a while to get ready. So
yeah, I didn't go to bed until like 3:30 this morning. So I'm just like, oh, what is that? Yeah, okay. I'm like, better brush my teeth and grab my coffee.
I woke up to an incredibly bad hair day this morning.
But
we saw a peek under the hood, Randy. We know what's there.
I had to pluck it. That's the problem. It's right at the end of my nose.
Oh, those hairs. Yeah, the hazards of growing old. So yeah, I am one half of Ragin' AVC. We do social media management and promotion, advocate marketing, if you will. I am also one of the associate editors over at Geek Insider and the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast. I am writing. I spent the last year and a half writing scripts for comics, and I don't art, so it's taking me a bit longer to get that out into the world. Writer of prose as well, love romance, erotica, as well as horror and thrillers. So kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. You will see my stuff eventually. It's coming, I promise.
You have to master it all. Got to master it all.
Master it all. Oh, there isn't enough time in the day.
Shall we post that Critical Blast thing in the chat, or do we really want to get into that? There we go. That's the proper response.
Groan.
Groan.
I guess because it's like I have I saw something this morning on Facebook that kind of made me think a bit. So it's like I was gonna throw it out there, but I mean it depends on what the Critical Blast is commenting on. So it might be related, might not be. Who knows?
Daphne, do we have something we want to add to this?
Yeah.
Keep going for it. I have only one comment to make on this, and that is people should always be available to redeem themselves. People should always be available to forgive those that try to redeem themselves, and that censorship and deplatforming is the way to madness. There's been book burning in the past.
Okay,
Don't let it happen again. Don't let it happen again.
Yeah.
There are people on my friends list that I know agree with this, and there are people that disagree with it.
Yep.
And we should all have a reasonable agreement about it. But what should not happen, in my personal view, is that you should censor people, that you should deplatform people. What makes you right? If you deplatform people or censor people because you think that they're doing something wrong, when the boot comes for them, that same boot will come for you eventually. Do not partake in this. have reasoned, decent discussions. And from what I can tell from the story that I know is that his book caused offence. He has since apologised for that offence. That should be enough. That should be enough, in my view. Okay, and that's the end of it. I can't really talk about it any more than that because I don't want to upset the people that I know. If they're, if they have different opinions from me, I think everyone should be allowed to do that. But at the same time, I don't want to get into a big row about it. It is over in my neck of the woods, as in it's in the UK. I just don't. I don't like the idea of deplatforming. I don't like the idea of censorship. I do like the idea of common discourse where people discuss and are able to redeem themselves by apology if necessary.
Critical Blast posted
we
in our
about
in
this
our
last
chat.
night on Geekasm.
Yeah, we did.
But Critical Blast posted in our chat this morning. Thank God Thought Bubble reacted quickly to the Frank Miller matter! Exclamation point. Another 24 hours, and Gail Simone would have told Scott Snyder to publicly back out.
I think that's where I think there's another issue there where they wouldn't have had the balls, shall we say, to have said anything, but they'll probably be quite sort of, I don't know, it's unfair for me to say that they will, but they may well come out and go, oh yeah, it was the right thing to do. It's like so many of these people, whether they're being, let's face it, two-faced, or whether they're just scared and legitimately concerned about being cancelled or having an issue online or whatever it is. People need to stand up and say no to cancellation, no to censorship,
right?
Yes to redemption. Stop just stopping people from being able to live their lives or carry out their work or whatever. Separate the art from the artist and just get on. Okay, and but everyone talks about kindness and forgiveness. That's what people should be doing.
Yeah.
If somebody's offended you,
but when they talk about kindness, they're talking about as long as I like you.
That's what I was saying about.
Not just that, but it's not just as long as I like you, as long as I like your political opinion.
That's exactly it. It's like there's this perception of what is the right thing to do. Well, it's only the right thing because you agree with them. Yeah. Okay, but you know, you just don't want to get into too political. Everybody understands any reason, decent, normal, and I mean LGBT, and I mean black people, I mean white people, I mean yellow people, grey people, blue people, pink people, whatever you are. Everybody understands that bigotry is stupid. It's of no use to us whatsoever. Okay,
the blue people are the best.
The blue people are the best. We all know that.
Love those blue people.
I'm a fan of the Greys. I don't know.
It's stupid to think.
It's only because you've been abducted.
Okay, so we all know. We all know there's certain paths you don't want to go down.
No,
okay,
you
don't want to be there. Okay, but the only way to get rid of a bad idea is to bring it into the light, to have it discussed, to see it as a bad idea. Okay, and if you cancel people, if you deplatform people, and if you don't give people the opportunity to change and say, do you know what, those ideas I had in the past, they're wrong. I understand that now. I believe they're wrong, and I think this now, and be able to apologize for things that may well, you know, you and the other people in the group may well feel is wrong. Then if you don't give people that chance for redemption, then what's the point? You know, show kindness, show decency, show compassion. If that's what if that's what people want, then do it properly to everybody. You know, and stop with the book burning, because that's where it goes. This is where this crap goes. Okay, it just so happened that it was on the right foot. Now it's on the left foot.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's all the same crap.
Yeah.
Well, apparently,
it's the same boot on your neck. That's what it is.
It's the same. It's the same boot on your neck. Exactly.
Apparently, Joe isn't in the chat this morning, so we've got a couple of spammers in there.
Oh, spammers!
We need to try to take care of.
Okay, got to clean.
Joe, if you're there, we need some work.
Right.
Need your hand, buddy.
Right.
So,
you know, but that's the thing, because it's like, you know, we spoke a little bit about this. I mean, I have, well, from last night, I have an idea of the situation, but still, though, I mean, I think it's happened enough generally that I think that my opinion on the whole thing is pretty much the same across the board. That it's like, even if Frank Miller was unapologetic, let's just say that, even if he wasn't, you know, it's not like the convention didn't know who he was. And, you know, and it's like, you know, so at what point do you put on your big girl panties and say that, you know what, I'm not going to go to that panel. I am not going to support, I'm not going to, it's like, I'm not going to go to that panel. I'm going to stay at my table, and work, like a goddamn adult. And it's going to go how it's going to go. It's like, I'm the one with the problem with it. And that's it. And then it's like, there comes to a point where it's like, okay, yeah, Frank Miller has done, it's like, I think that's the whole women in fridges thing comes from him. But it's like, look, in the end though, if he didn't in person rape, murder, and chop up your bits to put in a fridge, you're arguing about lines on paper.
Exactly.
And there comes a point where it's like, it's things that happen to real people that matters, not shit that happens on a blank piece of paper that just happens to have some lines on it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Western world is too easy, and people have got to find problems.
And it's like it's like, I swear to God, it's like the more I stay online, the more I become like a First Amendment absolutist. It's like, it's like, look, it's like, is there art out there that's absolutely horrific and you don't want to see it? I don't want to see, and it's kind of shitty that it exists. Yes, it does. It does. It's like, of course there is. But at the same time, I am absolutely loath to say that they shouldn't exist. Yeah. Because it's like you said, that's the real slippery slope. Yeah, exactly. Because they put a boot on his neck because they're getting ready to put a boot on yours. Exactly. And it doesn't take much to pivot. Yes. That's the thing that people don't understand. They think that, you're only going after him. You're only going after perverts. You're going only after the Lolita, and the Yoi stuff. You're only going after the Fujoshis. It's like, you're going after that disgusting people. But if you watch the dialogue, it doesn't take much for them to all of a sudden turn to you and say, there was that tweet you posted 10 years ago. And it's like, it doesn't take much. And that's what, it's the period after the French Revolution was called the Terror to begin with. Because what happened is that when they ran out of aristocrats to behead, they started turning on each other.
Yeah, that's the way. Well, we're seeing some of that now.
Eating their own.
And
believe me, some of these people are earning a lot less than peasants right now.
So, and put a kibosh on the shit. So, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing a variation of the terror.
Yeah, without doubt.
It's like, and it's like, look, as somebody who's had both sides of my family live 40 plus years under actual military fascist dictatorships, to the point that I had a grandfather in a concentration camp for 3 years, and him and my grandmother spent a day burning every single one of his books in the house because he found out a neighbor had ratted him out to the whatever they called the police at the time, the military police, and he did not want to go back to those camps.
No.
So you have to, so you know what, I need a little bit more than these lines on paper offended me. Someone sent a mean tweet. I need a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Daphne Shortbox has had pixels on screens harming them now on Twitter.
But we need reasonable discussion as well. I mean, I saw just slightly adjacent, more than adjacent to this, just off topic, but a similar approach. I was just listening to a news item. I happened to have it on, and it's from a news organization that I thought was kind of quite balanced. And there was a woman on there that I had, a woman journalist that I had in the past sort of mildly agreed with. And they were talking about how girls in general, how females were being pressured into their sexuality. Effectively, makeup, high heels.
I think that's always been an issue. But
that's right. But instantly she went to the porn industry.
No.
And started slagging the porn industry off. And it's
No.
like, well, no. It's like, yes, there obviously are some darker corners of that industry that you don't want. But don't blame the porn industry for Vogue magazine putting skinny models on the front of their pages, or for advertising, or for the way that it's approached. I mean, for instance, I know, like something that was brought up last night about the Olympic Games. Apparently, the female volleyball team wore shorts, and they were fined for it. Yeah. Now, this is the IOC. Please, I don't want any discussion about transgender and all the rest of it, but they are agreeing with it. Okay, that's what they're doing. So they're standing up for a particular group's rights. Okay, and yet they imposed a fine on the volleyball team for wearing shorts instead of bikinis.
Yeah.
Why aren't the men?
But it's the porn. But it's the porn industry. And mind you, and the funny thing is, as someone who is tangentially related to that industry, and also as someone who has felt the sting of deplatforming because of the type of artwork that I do, you know. So what's funny is that porn, if you look at porn, it has a completely different set of beauty standards than the mainstream. And what's funny is how they kind of don't mesh on a certain level.
No, exactly.
I was going to say, I blame Vogue magazine for promoting the porn industry and actually getting some women up there with a little bit of meat on their bones.
Sorry, before you carry on, my point being is
nice curves.
The same way as that journalist was going to a place that didn't affect it. You have the IOC upholding like one set of people's rights, and then saying that somebody like women have to wear bikinis. Well, why don't all the men wear bikinis? Why isn't there a standard uniform for beach volleyball for men and for women? And you think, well, how can where's the disjoint? Where has it gone wrong that they can think one thing but can't think another?
It's called the Brazilian volleyball team.
With the Olympic Committee, though, flapping ass cheeks puts people in seats.
Right. It's kind of like,
I know the IOs.
It's
they're
kind of
awful.
like the tennis,
and they're a group of old, stick in the mud. To me, a sport's a sport.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just. It's all about money.
Yeah.
I mean, these people will ruin a local business because they're not selling the right beer.
Right.
Because they're within the horror stories I heard about the London Olympics and small businesses being crucified.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because they would or would not follow those rules. I mean, it just shows you how despicable and how corporatized that whole thing is. We talk about going there and being an athlete. Why are all the tennis players professionals? Why? But the boxers aren't allowed to be professionals.
Right.
It's all over the place. And but my point being was this sort of malaise in people's minds where they can just point at porn, or they can point at this or point at that, and then completely forget the other things that are quite in front of their face.
It's easier.
It's so much easier when you don't have to think.
Right, because it's easier to say that porn's the problem and not the fact that you have parents putting fucking babies on diets.
There you go. There you go. That says it all.
So it's like, and also for the fact that, going back to the Frank Miller thing, it's like the whole thing just reeked of performative activism anyway. That it's like, really, okay, so you got Frank Miller, kicked out of a show, and then what? It doesn't erase the work that he did. It doesn't erase any conversations that need to be had. It just gave you a dopamine / serotonin hit, depending on what you were going for. And you think you did something when you did absolutely nothing except to be an idiot on social media.
Exactly. I mean, somebody.
Go ahead.
Sorry, somebody said something about being feel like they're in danger. And it's like, okay, if
you know what, I don't buy that.
If he'd been a convicted criminal, if he'd been a convicted criminal, okay, and he'd done violent things, okay, I can understand why you would say that. But like you say, these are just lines on paper. Just don't talk to him. Don't turn up at the panels. Just don't be involved with that man if you think that he's as idiot as he is. But it's not for you as an individual to say no.
Honestly,
in all fairness,
it comes off as a bad excuse to try to cancel him. To tell you the truth,
but
I don't feel safe.
what happened was they sent that they'd already been
In a
talking
crowd.
to the authority, to the people that had organised it, but they just made it visible online that they had a problem, and so you can say, well, they never boycotted him. They never boycotted him. They never cancelled him, but they made it very obvious.
Yeah,
and that's where it comes together. So, like I say, I don't want to get truly into the weeds on this. I'm certainly not going to give you my direct opinions on these people or on the creators or on Frank Miller even. But what I will say is kindness, redemption, decency. Bring the bad ideas out and talk about them. Don't just persecute people, whoever they are. Find out what the reasons are. Go find it.
That requires to be an adult and shit.
Communicate.
Critical thinking. When they
really this whole problem takes an understanding of context.
Yeah.
Because Miller's not that kind of person. Even when he did that work, he knew he wasn't that kind of person. Yeah. He was dredging up some feelings that the entire country was dealing with at the time. Yeah. And a lot of times the way, especially with the medium that we're in, we deal in, believe it or not, over exaggeration and fantasy in making your points. And he has characters on his book saying certain things, or he goes out and says certain things in the heat of the moment,
don't you know,
with the national texture and context working. Yes, of course, he made a mistake. He apologized for his mistake.
Yeah, that should be enough.
He still can't be forgiven.
Well, it's like, but don't you know? It's like, everything that an author puts down on paper, it's because he endorses it completely. I mean, Martin Scorsese obviously completely endorses mafia behavior and everything. So, because of his movies. Well, because why else would you do them? Yeah. Why else would you do that?
And what I was saying before is that when somebody's opinion is like stronger than mine, it's like I will push back against that. It's because it's opinion. It's subjective.
Right.
It is. There's nothing objective about it, and opinions can change.
Yeah.
But when you deplatform a person, when you take somebody out, you are literally taking away my ability to make a decision on that. Right. Like if he was there, and I didn't like what he was doing, I have the choice to go there.
Yeah.
To go elsewhere. Yeah. To buy the other book. To buy the other piece of art.
Or you could have the. Sorry.
As a critical thinker, I should be able to make the decision of what I want to ingest or invest in.
Right. Or you could have the decency and the balls to walk up to him and say, I didn't like what you did in that book, and give him the opportunity to apologize to you directly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we could, exactly like you said, we could all act like adults, perhaps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, look, it's like every time I go outside, I have to share this space with people I absolutely abhor. But
you too?
Like, yeah, I know, right?
Basically, people who breathe. Yeah.
So it's like
mouth breathers.
It's like,
they're the worst.
Well,
oxygenators.
The problem is with my sinus problems, I actually am a mouth breather. So I'm offended. How dare you?
Don't apologize. She can't cancel you.
I can't help it if I can't breathe through my nose. But yeah, so it's like, but it's just something we have to deal with. I mean, you go to a job and you have to work with people you hate.
Yeah,
but it's like we don't go throwing tantrums, or at least you're not supposed to be throwing tantrums every 5 minutes because of that. It's like, sorry, there's no guarantee in the Constitution to have an asshole-free lifestyle.
No, and if there were, you couldn't live up to it. They're everywhere. They are everywhere.
Exactly. People gotta chill, man. But the thing is, though, it's like not for nothing, though. It's all because I think that it's all related to the fact that algorithms. We were talking about bots and algorithms, and that stuff is designed for this shit. That's the problem. It's like if you didn't get a hit just for going online, nobody would be going online like that.
No.
But instead, now it's like it's the first line of defense. Why? Because the algorithm loves that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like, you know, you look at YouTube. I mean, honestly, not for nothing, I don't think really that many people give that much of a shit about Star Wars. It's just that the algorithm loves it when you do a 2.5 hour rant video about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's really the thing.
I honestly didn't give a shit about it until I saw a 2.5 rant video about it.
Right. There you go. You know? And it's like, yeah, and that's and this is the behavior that algorithms promote. So what happens, it creates this echo chamber where everybody starts to think this is how people act. When all it is that they're enhancing the volume on the same 5 people on the internet, as Jose likes to put it. The same 5 people on the internet.
Morning, Zing Zen.
Good morning. Good luck with your cartoon. I'm dying to see that trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, that does go from both sides.
Yeah.
You have extremes on both sides of the argument.
Either. It's like when I talk about this stuff, it's everybody takes advantage of it. It's it's the horseshoe. It's the horseshoe theory, where if you go extreme enough, both sides meet at the same point. You know, which is totalitarianism.
Yeah. That's as politics as a circle.
Right.
Fascists and communists meet at the gulags.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
you know, so it's like, because it's like, you know, artists do not flourish under neither extreme fascism and an extreme communism, or it's totalitarianism. That's the thing. It's the dictator part that kind of ruins everything. So, but it's like, it's the totalitarianism. Nobody flourishes under that.
No,
Dory. Good morning, Dory. How are you? Hope you're doing well.
But, you know, to kind of lighten the mood a bit, I did, like I said, I did have a question that I saw from something, you know, that I saw this morning. I'm not going to name. Oh, go ahead.
Before you jump into that, let's wish Sarah well. She's teaming up with Brian K. Morris and hitting the road. Good luck.
Fezzes for everybody.
Fezzes are Brian's fezzes are cool.
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
Yep, Fez for everyone. Let Brian know we miss him and that I need him on Sunday Funnies real bad. Tell him to tell Cookie to lighten up and let him come on the show again, will you?
Let him play.
He blames.
He
blames Cookie. Yeah, exactly.
Brian is grounded.
We do like to think that we could bring Cookie home, but Cookie needs to let Brian go out and play.
Cookie home.
Not sure who. Oh, I know who V is. Hey. V's in the green room trying to connect. So come on in, buddy. Are you there? Devices.
Are we getting signals from another planet? Is that what's happening?
Well, Daphne, you were going to lighten the mood.
Yeah, I was going to lighten
Device
the mood.
is not connected, Varian. So try to get back in, buddy. He's trying to call from his phone. I'm sure.
Oh, that.
I hope that means that books are in.
So,
Good
morning, Max. Good morning.
Yeah, he dropped out. Good morning, everyone. Mary in the house. Yeah, Max is in the house. What up?
Hey.
Morning, Max. Hope you're doing well. Anyway, you were talking.
Oh yeah. So this morning, you know, I saw this thing on. Well, this is something that's been bothering me for a while when it comes to crowdfunding. Oh, thank you for the introduction. Thank you.
Oh, I wish I had that coffee.
We got this one too.
Yeah, I don't even drink coffee, but
because damn it, I've got the rant. Now I want the coffee.
Yeah. So we were talking about how Indiegogo has this, what I think is a very strange thing, where it not only can you do a 30-day campaign, but you can extend it to 60 days. And then go indefinitely on in demand. I don't know if there's a time limit for in demand, but pretty much. So pretty much it's like, we were talking about some campaigns and realizing it's like, holy shit, you actually ran a campaign for 3 goddamn months, you know, and I got exhausted just thinking about that. So this morning I saw a post.
Hang on just a second. Hang on. Russ. How long did you run Only Death Can Save Us?
Okay, you can only run a campaign for 60 days. So what you do is you put in your first term, however long that might be, 1 day or 60 days. But say you put in 30 days.
Yeah.
You run to the end of the 30 days and then you go, right, I'm going to extend it for another 30 days.
Exactly.
But you have to put in the number 60. So that it continues it. Yeah, so it goes all the way to your... Because otherwise, if you put in 30, I think this is the way it works. If you put in 30, then it would just stop it on 30. Or if you put in 1 and so like I just want an extra day, it would just like stop it instantly. It's really peculiar. But then on top of that, you can leave it as a store effectively. And so I left mine open so it was September last year and I closed it July 2nd this year.
Right.
And I believe that they will actually close your campaign if it is inactive and you have no sales for, I believe, a year.
Yes, probably that's the case. I haven't looked at that, but that's probably the case. You do get paid. You do get charged a monthly fee if you get money out. They charge you a bank transfer fee
because now they're acting like a store.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It's not huge, but it's worth taking into account.
Right.
If you're selling, I don't know, if you're selling 10 books a month, then it's definitely worth doing. If you're only selling like 2 or 3, then it gets very close to the wire.
Right.
So yeah, so
Logo has an indefinite time limit, but you have to be moving so many units each month while in demand. It's critical.
Well, that's the funny thing because Russ, I don't remember you like sounding like you were talking forever about only death can save us on crowdfunding. It's like it sounded like I kind of remember you crowdfunded for the 30 days and then we got our books the month after.
I hope everybody thinks of it that way.
Oh no, Sarah says Will do. Cookie injured herself and he's taking care of her, but I will nag him for you.
There you go.
Oh, sorry to hear Cookie hurt herself. We hope she's feeling better soon. Tell Brian that we wish him and Cookie well.
So I went for the 60 days and delivered so I started in September and I delivered end of January.
Right.
So that was just the schedule that I'd put on myself.
Right. Okay.
I was very visible for those first 2 months. That was my campaign.
Right.
After that, I simply carried on doing what I'm doing. So I didn't kind of campaign, as it were. I just kept myself visible. I come onto shows like this and I go,
But the thing is that we had all that in our books by that point.
You had, but it's amazing how many new people turn up.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely.
I funded with 185 people, and I finished out my store with 271.
Right, but you see, but that is not. You see, because I think that honestly, not to flatter your ego a bit, but I think that you actually used it the way it was meant to be used.
Right.
While what I'm talking about are people who run their campaigns and they use it as a way to run a 3-month campaign.
I see. Right.
And so they're talking about their books for 3 months or 4 months or whatnot. And the common denominator with all of these campaigns that I was talking about, which goes to a campaign, is that the book is not finished. And they're using this time to drag out the process to buy themselves time for a book that should have been done before they even thought about running a campaign. But this is what I saw this morning. So an artist who's running a campaign now decided that they were burning themselves out and that they were going to stop work on the book that they're trying to fund, to take a break from it. Even though they were almost done with it, that they were going to take a break from it. But the thing is, though, this is the book that they're campaigning for, that they're working on. So, so it's like, I'm sitting there reading this and I'm like going, really, it's like, I understand making comics is an exciting process. Everybody wants to get the campaigns out. I understand that. But the thing is, though, the fact that so many people want to jump that gun, cart before the horse, whatever stupid metaphor you want to use for it. And they want to go into the campaign without even having their books done. Especially since like I don't have like my campaign isn't even live yet. Yeah, I'm a stickler for this. Like I have a proof here for Tall Tales Volume 2, shameless plug. I have a proof already. The book is done. So when my campaign starts up in the next couple of days, the book is here. I have something to show.
Right, but that is an approach.
Right.
I can appreciate. I mean, for instance, my second book is in thumbnails.
Right.
And it's going to have a percentage of it done by the time I go to my campaign, but I won't have finished it.
Right.
And I see the campaign as a way to fund that book to a certain degree.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why, crowdfunding is like VC in that in order to get people to think that you're committed, they want to see you do some work first. They want to see some sweat equity. And this also comes out in being on YouTube, being available, giving back before you get. So you're giving of your time, you're giving of your presence, saying, look, this is what I do. I'm open. I'm there as a creator. You can come talk to me. You can come watch what I do. I'm real. I'm authentic. I'm there. And you know that I can do what I say I'm going to do. Not only that, there's a percentage of it done. I thoroughly understand where you're coming from as far as making a book first and then going to the crowdfunding. I applaud that. And if I could have done that, I would have done it. But I couldn't because financially it just didn't work out that way for me. So some would say, well, just put it up on a store. Don't go to the crowdfunding. But the great thing, because it's finished. But the great thing about crowdfunding, as it is currently, in the way that it currently is, it's a great platform.
Right.
It's a great platform to get it out there to people. You will even pick some people up who would never even have looked at a comic before.
Right. Yeah,
Not many, but a few. So that's why it's a worthwhile thing to do.
Right.
So it's very, very legit to do that. Turning up with just a couple of covers and an idea is not legitimate.
Right.
I absolutely, in my personal view, I am thoroughly on your side with that. And I definitely felt for you as you ranted there, because I could feel the inner conservative in you. Get knuckle down, get the job done.
Right.
Don't bitch about the fact that it's hard. If it's too hard, don't bloody make comics.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a hard job as far as it demands your time and it demands your commitment. And if you're not prepared to do that, then you're flaky gravy and leave it. Just go away, do something else.
Ew, flaky gravy.
Flaky gravy.
But so I totally understand what you're saying. I absolutely agree with you. But there are absolutely acceptable situations because it's crowdfunding.
Right.
That you aren't necessarily completely finished by the time you come to a campaign.
Well,
but that does require that you put some sweat equity down at the very minimum, especially if it's your first campaign like mine was, or if you've delivered previously and people trust you to deliver.
Right.
That's very important. Deliver on time.
Yeah, no.
Amen. Delivery. Yes. Want to see something pretty?
Go ahead.
You want to see something pretty?
Yes, I want to.
Yes, we want to see something
show
pretty.
us something pretty.
Oh, the pretty.
I'm not talking about Varian. I'm talking about the box.
It's always gorgeous. Look at that T-shirt.
Look at that. Yeah. Well, I like that T-shirt a lot. Yeah.
Forget that guy. Let's look at the boxes.
Look at them boxes.
Palettes.
The palettes.
Beautiful palettes.
Books. He's gonna do that naked roll, isn't he?
Well, that's
Don't do it, Varian. Don't do it.
There it is off the truck, ladies and gentlemen. Right there.
Nice. Woohoo!
Liberty Comics restocking.
Just the beginning. Whoops, sorry. I didn't want to dox myself there. Boom.
But
sorry.
but I got my opportunity last year because of a unique set of circumstances, as you were talking about earlier, and it meant that I did what I did. This year, I wanted to start my campaign in, I don't know, April or something. I wanted to get on with it and do an early campaign. I wanted to be done by this time.
Right.
I just got too busy. I got too many offers. I got too much work. It's a great situation to be in. It's a great problem to have.
Don't ever complain about too much work.
You can't complain about it. But now I'm further down the line, and so I actually have a hard deadline, and a portion of that hard deadline is because I'm fortunate enough to be doing stuff with Randy Arrow Comics. But the other part of it is my own commitment that it has to be done by that time. Look at that.
Varian, you are on the air.
Live from the Liberty Comics warehouse.
Live from a corner of the warehouse.
Yeah. I'm standing here amongst books.
Breaking news. Oh, do we have a breaking news graphic?
We do, actually. Get me in here. I know it's here somewhere. Right there. Boom. Breaking news.
I'm here. Books were delivered about 30-40 minutes ago. I do have a problem though.
Huh?
Of course.
Every book, apparently, and this is. I know, Daphne. I know you can tell me if this is true or not.
Okay.
BE has staged a coup. All of these books are from Dreamweavers. There's Dreamweavers hybrids, Wellkeeper, Interceptor. I see what's going on here, JD.
We're taking over, Varian. Sorry.
No.
This is the first time I heard about it. But yeah, so they're all here. 2,000 here, 2,000 here, 1,000 right here. It's a lot of books to go through. But yeah, we'll be doing that today. And yeah, I just want to let you guys see that I got here on time. Got the books. Everybody helpful getting them loaded in here and dragging them down. And
you're already freezing. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Looks
Say
good.
again?
When you bringing some up my way?
I can't hear you. Breaking up. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Didn't want to answer that question anyway.
It's like live news.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thank you, Varian. They look great. Can't wait to have some in my hand. Thanks. Are you there? You're already frozen.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're already frozen,
all right.
Yeah.
Looks good.
All right,
Look, at least that's one part that's done. I lost him.
Every step is a step.
Oh no, it's
You know?
a spinning circle of doom.
Yeah.
Spinning circle of doom.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That was a direct report of Varian from the warehouse. Liberty Distribution's just
Right.
gotten their first large shipment of books in.
Mm-hmm.
The first 9 are available. Will be available for retailers immediately.
I definitely feel like I'm on the edge of an engine that's kind of turning very, very deliberately.
Yes, it is.
With what's going on with Varian, with with my book, with Arrow, being on here with Indie Vault, seeing what Meredith and Nita are doing. It's all very exciting.
Right, we're all on that Acme rocket, and someone lit the fuse.
Yeah.
Let's hope we're not Wile E. Coyote.
That's what I was just thinking. That.
Holy crap! That does not ever end well.
No.
Oh dear. Yeah,
just to start there,
good.
folks. And yeah, all of those books are available for your local retailer. Go over there and let them know that it's time for them to take a look. And yeah, you're going to hear them grumble that they're taking on a 3rd distributor or 4th distributor, depending upon the number that they're used to. But back when
in our day, there were 26.
Back in our day when Arrow Comics first started up, there was 26, 27 distributors available, all rotating product, all moving. Lots of numbers, moving a lot of weight, as they say in the.
I heard that
in the drug business.
Was Varian saying that he had like 70 shops?
No, he's got 80 plus shops now, and he's having a rough time getting more. He has to go through a vetting process, where he has to make sure that the retailers are a physical store or a big enough dealer in order to take it on. And we want everybody to carry this product. And he's got a lot of other books other than the ones that you see there on the pallet, and he's picking up more publishers all the time. So he's having to go through and vet publishers and vet retailers And sometimes it's a slow process, especially when you're just getting started. Your server's too small, or this doesn't quite work right, or the site doesn't quite make it. He has a catalog that's going to press here really quick that's got all of these books in it, a physical catalog that'll be available for folks to show to their local retailer, to get it in their hands in order to show their customers. Because the cool thing about Liberty, the way that it works, that's why you're seeing all of these boxes, is that these books are on hand. They're ready to go. It's not a promise. It's not a 3-month commitment that a retailer has to make, like he has to make with a lot of these other distributors, where they're guessing their budget 3 or 4 months from now, hoping that these books all don't come in at the end of the month, which is what usually happens, because Diamond sits here with a stopwatch and they're waiting for anybody in the green section to pass that 90-day mark so that they can cancel their purchase order.
Yeah.
And a lot of these publishers, and just like what Daphne was just saying about campaigns, some of these publishers solicit for books that aren't done. And so they're out trying, and even the bigger guys do this too. It's not just it's definitely not just the alternative or the independent guys, not just the green section, because you've seen over and over again, these retailers have seen DC pushback product and Marvel pushback product that's just not done, that they've already solicited for and gotten numbers on, or they cancel books that they made we solicited for it. Oops, we're just not going to print it.
Yeah. That's a great number though. Over 80. That's
all the time.
Well, and the Liberty promise is that they if they have a book that's not moving, they can send it back.
That's the cool thing. All of the books are coming, and this is Varian's next big job. All of the books to the retailers are bagged and boarded, and they have a Liberty board on the back of them. Of course, the printed side is facing out, so it doesn't harm the comic. But there's a reason for that. It's not just advertising Liberty distribution, but if a retailer has these books on the stands and they've sat on the stands for what the retailer considers as too long, all I have to do is turn that book over, and if it's got that Liberty print on that backing board, they can turn that book back in.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't want to long box it or save it for back issue possibilities, they can turn that book back into Liberty and trade it in for another book they think will sell, or it'll go off of their next order.
And the thing is, though, too, is that Liberty carries such a wide variety of comics that they should be able to find and really cater what books will cater their orders to their stores.
Literally just the start. And the more quality publishers that come on board, the more that variety is going to grow. So the more options the retailer is going to have for choosing. But everything starts, any race starts at the starting line. And this is what this is. This is the starting line for people to come on board. The retailers, the additional publishers, and Varian every day is talking to all publishers, alternative publishers of all different sizes about carrying their books. Because all Varian asks for, or all Liberty asks for, are books on hand. And they'll carry a roster, and if they run out, they call the publisher the next day. This book, we've run out of this book. We need more. So everything that you order, a retailer orders off the site, is already on hand at the warehouse. All Liberty does is put them in boxes, specialty boxes, protective boxes, already bagged and boarded. So you're not going to get the problems that you're getting with a lot of these shippers who don't know how to properly pack boxes, or who've never learned how to pack boxes, or they have the local penitentiary come in and help pack boxes. Who knows? You're not going to get that problem with Liberty. You're going to get these books shipped out directly to you as soon as you order. No wait, no budget problem, no promises. The money is there. The books are there. They're ready to go up on the shelf and to be sold. So that's part of the fun of this. That's why I'm so adamant about this. And I sound like a repetitive commercial, because Arrow really believes in this process. Varian has taken years looking, and I've retailed for a long time. Varian has talked to a number of other retailers about how to make an ideal distributor for this industry, and this is it. Books are done. Books are ready to go. You've seen the boxes. They're begging to go to the stores, and they're ready. As soon as everything gets cleared up on the site, order. And get them, order, get them, and put them up on the stands. And it's all every last book in that bundle is all quality work, folks. It's just beautiful stuff. Anybody else?
Oh, yeah. Daphne's had a sneak peek.
Yeah, I've had my sneak peek.
Where's my Randy rant tag here? Right there, Randy's soapbox.
There you go.
Come on, folks. You can do it.
But going back to the crowdfunding thing. I mean, I just want to clarify something. In case it's like I started making everybody panic about, oh my God, she wants all the stuff done before we crowdfund. It's like I understand that part of the whole process of crowdfunding is allowing you to afford the process.
Yes.
Not everybody can do. I mean, yes, it's very easy for me to talk shit because I do everything myself. So I don't have to really lay out money. I mean, I pay a flatter, but honestly, I pay that out of pocket. And, just so I know I have, just so I know I have a book. Look, I'm currently working on coloring issue 3 when the campaign's not until September. Not only that, I'm currently also going to be finishing issue 4 and the first trade paperback. Those books don't even those campaigns don't even hit until next year. But I want those books done so I can proof them and look them over. So when the campaigns happen, I'm good to go. I'm very confident in the product. And not only that, the second the campaign is over, I get them printed and I get them out to you. Because to me, that's part of the whole customer service thing that everybody likes to harp about. I mean, because everybody has those nightmare campaigns where they're still waiting 1, 2, 3 years later for a book. I mean, it's one thing if it's like, okay, well, it's one thing if you have like your pencils done or your inking done. Actually, it's like, honestly, if you want, honestly, I think at most an unfinished book should at least be inked, and it's like, because coloring shouldn't take that long and lettering shouldn't take that long. So
come on, you've colored before.
Yeah, well, I mean, coloring now. Yeah.
I can guarantee,
but it shouldn't take you 3 months.
Yeah, I can guarantee you, okay, that when I go to start in October, my book will not be inked.
Right.
Okay. But something else I can guarantee you is it will be developed. It will be delivered in February, and that's the difference. Okay. It's like it's one thing to say, it's one thing to say I'm using the crowdfunding to help me develop the book,
right.
But you've got to develop the book. Then you've got to come through at the end of the day. So far, I'm hoping that I've convinced people that I'm a sure bet. That apart from some kind of terrible circumstance, which life happens to people, okay. But the one thing I'm not going to do is flake out. Yeah. The one thing I'm not going to do is go, oh, I'm a bit tired. Or I can't do that, illnesses, bereavements, like volcanoes and earthquakes. There's nothing we can do about these things.
Right.
But what we can do is say we are committed to the work and we will come through on what we say we're going to do. We will deliver the book.
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with people starting because I'm going to do it myself when I haven't got a finished book or even a half-finished book. But as with all of this industry, unfortunately, and with creative industries in general, you're always going to get flaky people. Yeah. You're always going to get people that think, oh, this is great. Let's go and do this. It must be easy. No, it's not. Right. And you're always going to also get people, get the grift king up. You're also going to get people who grift, who take money and don't deliver. Or take money and don't, fraudulent. Take money and don't deliver, or take so long to deliver that that their product has become, a bad taste in the mouth. So look at that money; it's all coming down. Come here. So I think nice catch, Meredith. I think that there are levels to this. You have a process and you are committed and you are obviously a safe bet and a sure bet, and you've proven yourself time and time again to get the work out. I'm in a slightly different position. I had to prove myself for the first time. I had some kind of proof of as far as the work I could do because of the publishers that I've worked with, and now I've proved to people. And even though I might be, I'm going to be behind compared to what I was in the first campaign, I'm still going to get it out in good time and in good order. In fact, one of the things I am doing, which is exactly what you were talking about, is I'm getting more people on board. I'm getting somebody else to completely flat the book.
Right.
I'm going to end up getting somebody else to completely letter the book. Well, that's going to save me 6 weeks of work.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
So, if I got the first one out on time, I'm going to get the second one out on time. So, it's all how you manage yourself and how you manage what you're doing.
Yeah.
Something that is very obvious are the people that turn up to do crowdfunding who can't manage themselves.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. And it does become obvious with late books.
Yeah.
Some books, I've seen it, I've heard and taken part in this discussion as well, is some books become too successful. So they start adding stuff.
Yeah.
The great thing with doing these campaigns is that you get to see all kinds of people doing all kinds of things, and they're literally making all kinds of examples.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
That's part of the fun of doing this podcast, is taking those examples and being able to go, hey, you don't want to be like this guy.
Yeah.
You want to follow Daphne's advice. Have as much as the book done as you can.
Yeah.
Don't take this guy's advice who sat down and decided to do whatever. Because we've had real early on, we had people doing campaigns that just booked or disappeared or claimed that even though they had a goal, they didn't take all the expenses in. That's part of the reason why we're here, is to help folks learn from other people's bad examples and good examples.
Yeah, and those bad examples do actually hurt all of us.
All of us,
because it lessens the confidence in crowdfunding.
Yep. But also, I hope it shows with folks listening that it's not everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Not everybody's out there doing a campaign in order to snake your money from you and take off and run.
No, that's right. No. So, and personally, I've never backed a campaign because of the extras, ever.
No, I've never have either.
That doesn't mean I don't appreciate them. I absolutely do. Okay. But from me personally, especially last time, seeing as I was just a one-man band, I had no help whatsoever apart from some of the writing at the end. I didn't have the resources to do extra stuff. So it was all down to prints. It was all down to art, and it was all down to the book. Mm-hmm. But there is something that I like as a purist about it. It's like, I'm about the book. I'm about everybody getting their book. And if I can add extras in, so for instance, I will be doing some more fridge magnets, because I think they're really cool things to have. I've already got 6 AM comics on the rest of the characters. I've got some extra prints for some there it is. For some
don't forget, kids, those fridge magnets look really great on the side of your tower. No, just kidding. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Put them on your.
I have a magnetic board that I put this on. So.
Preston Acevedo has done me an absolutely stellar print and ink spots as well. So I do want to give people. You do want to give people that extra in that book. When people back your book, especially if it's going out, via Arrow Comics, for instance, it's going out to the direct market. You want to have a 2-tier thing. You want people to be able. You want a bigger audience with a direct market and with retailers, but at the same time, you want to give people something special when they back your book. So, and I think that's what's most important about crowdfunding, is being able to connect with people, them feeling like they're part of the project and getting something special back from it, and also seeing a project come to fruition. If you follow along, the whole point of the whole thing about crowdfunding and seeing the numbers go up is it's almost akin to a video game in itself. People enjoy that, that aspect of it, and then on top of that, people feel like they're part of the project. It's great.
Well, they are. They literally are part of the project.
Exactly.
I think that the thing that kind of bothered, the thing about the 3-month campaigns, that's been that's something that I've been thinking about anyway. That it's like but I think the thing that kind of bothered me about that post from this morning is that sometimes it's possible to be a little too transparent with your process. And what happened was that the way he was talking about, he was talking about being burnt out on the book that, like I said, he's campaigning for. And the thing is, though, is like, okay, so you're telling me it's like, what can I infer from this? That you're rushing through this book because you're trying to finish it before the campaign ends? That you're not really interested in this book, because you're burnt out on it? I mean, it's kind of like I understand keeping your people updated with progress, but there's certain things you should at least try to word differently, so that I'm not all of a sudden thinking about, how serious are you about this,
or am I ever going to get my book?
And the thing is, and is it going to look like crap when I do?
No,
because
exactly.
You had to force yourself through it.
I think the internet has created an environment where people are too keen to share. To be honest, they're too keen to share their inner thoughts. They're too keen to share their woes and their problems. As a creator, okay, I've got two aspects to myself. I've got the nuts and bolts. I get a job done. Okay, if I'm having difficulty with my job, unless it's going to affect the production time, you don't need to know. Okay, if I'm having a bad day, you don't need to know. If I've just eaten a lovely lunch, do you know what? You don't need to know. Okay, and I don't have time to put that kind of crap on the internet.
If I'm mad at Frank Miller, you don't need to know.
Exactly. You don't need to know. I just get on and I do the job. If there's going to be some kind of issue with the schedule or the delivery of the promised items, then I'll tell you about it. Other than that, you don't need to know my woes or my problems. All you care about is getting your product. Then there's the other part of me that is the public face, and I don't mean I'm putting a face on. All I mean is me being approachable and being available, and that is me doing my show on a Monday night where I show people what I'm doing. I chit chat and talk rubbish. Okay, coming on here and sometimes giving an opinion about a thing, and being open and saying, look, this is just my opinion. I want people to discuss and be kind to each other, but I can have an opinion on something. It's not an attack. It's just an opinion. Okay. And so they're two separate things. One is I'm approachable. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to discuss. But I don't give you my utter inner feelings. Okay. Inner feelings would be lining everybody up in a dojo and let me punch every one of them. Okay. Because that's the way the world is. It's just a despicable, horrible place at the moment. Okay. But it's full, surprisingly, of really kind, decent people. So you don't let those inner demons out. You can have a rant, like a Daphne rant. You can give an opinion, okay? But you want to be contactable, okay? You want to be approachable. You want to be that person that creator that people think, I can connect with this person. They're real people, and at the same time, they're doing something that I'd really like to read, okay? That's one side. The other side is get on and do the job. I don't want to hear about your woes. Just get the job done. Okay? And that's the way I've always been. You know, I've had with the greatest respect to all these people that do it, and with as much love as I can possibly say, I don't want to hear if your parents have died or something. Okay, my parents have died 9 months between each other in the last couple of years. Okay. And I didn't say, and I'm only saying it now to prove the example. I didn't want to talk to the world about it. I understand some people do. Okay. But there was no way I was going to say that to people and then say, my book's late. Do you know what I mean? I've got a job to do. People are paying me to do a job. Okay, and no matter what happens to me, like I say, unless there's an earthquake or I did say
volcano, wildfires,
but you know what I mean? Like, unless it's something that I can't get through, it's a personal issue, and those people don't want to hear about that. They want you to be positive, and positivity is required. Okay, if you can say. I know I lost my aunt, but she was a grand person and she'd want me to be happy, then great, fine, but I don't want to hear about the inconsequential stuff about somebody's life if they're producing a product and then use that inconsequential stuff, as far as it's inconsequential to me because I'm not that person, to say I'm going to be late or I might flake out on this book or something. There's a job to be done. And then there's the approachable creator. And I think outside of that, you probably want to be quiet,
Right.
you know, and just get on with the job.
Yeah, I kind of wonder because I used to work in retail for way too long. And I kind of wonder what the Venn diagram between campaign. No, it's like
Just
very
read something
efficient.
that was funny.
See, that's why I don't read the comments while we're on there, because you people are bugging in the comments. You know, what the Venn diagram is between very efficient campaigns and people running them who've worked retail. Because, like I said, I've worked in retail for too long.
Yeah.
And the thing you were saying, like, I don't care about your problems. It's not that we don't care. Like I said, there's a certain level of transparency that we appreciate as a consumer.
Yeah,
but
sorry, please don't mistake that for me not having any compassion,
exactly.
human
You're
compassion.
right.
I'm just talking about.
But from someone who was on the other side of the counter, I remember very vividly this woman asking why her job was late. And I had nothing to do with the job. I was just working the counter. And I tried explaining to her, you know, that, oh, the machine broke down or something. And then she stopped me and she goes, I'm not interested in hearing how the cat got on the table and ate your food. I just want to know why dinner isn't being served.
Yeah, that's, like,
it's like,
deal with it now.
You know, it's like, yes, it's like, I just, you know, it's like, is my, you know, it's like, and mind you, it's like, that was the analogy. I wasn't working in food retail. I was working in a copy center, you know, but the thing is, though, it's like, that really got me thinking, because, like, look, all she wanted to know is, like, do I have my job or I don't have my job?
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to know whether the machine broke, the tech didn't come in, you ran out of toner. That's not her problem. Those are my problems to solve. Those are my problems on my end to solve. Her problem is, do I have my thing now or do I don't have my thing now?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I run my campaigns. Do you get your books when I tell you to, or do you don't get your books when I get your, you know, when I tell you to?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm very, very conscious about that.
I think it's everybody in there's a great one here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to know if you've had a dump. If you've taken a dump with me, that's oversharing. That's good.
Yeah.
Nita's like, if you are not dead, Russ, I want my fucking book.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. There is a level of transparency that is good. So especially if for some reason you are late and people can trust because you've been transparent over the time, but seeing too much is not going to help. If you become that transparent that people are seeing the inner demons at work, then they're going to be turned off by it eventually. So, you know, I think you don't want to be spilling your guts all the time. Don't air your dirty laundry in public. That was always, my mother would always say that to me. You know, advice from your mother, kids, remember it.
And there's a fine line of oversharing and being like accessible, because you want to be approachable too. But they don't need to know every detail. You know, then you're opening up the door to like creepy stalker crap too. Exactly.
Then everybody, and then it's like, look, you know, being online is already weird enough with its parasocial kind of environment that it creates. You don't need to like add fuel to that fire. It's like, you know, you can talk to us, but I mean, you know, it's like, I'm not. Don't Google Maps me.
You can talk to us. We're not the Samaritan. Don't do that.
There's only one person I know who might be okay peeking in Daphne's windows.
And he's inside the house already.
I thought you were saying he's inside a prison cell.
Let's go back to the chat. Sarah says, will do. Cookie injured herself and he's taking care of her. I will nag him for you. It says, definitely pass that along. She fell and hurt her ulna.
Ooh.
That's a part of the arm, which I'm really glad you let us know that, because I always get the ulna mistaken with the uvula.
Right. Yes.
Ooh.
So. And you do not want to mix those two words together.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Marvy has a question. Do you think a campaign should go from 30 to 60 if it won't fill the goal?
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yes.
That's what it's there for. That's actually what that is there for. If you don't quite hit the goal, you can give yourself another 30. But do be careful. Like I say, don't put in 30, put in 60. It's the total number of days. Read the form very carefully. People have been caught on that. So if you want it, and it's absolutely perfectly fine. In fact, if anything, that's what it's there for. When I extended mine, I'd actually hit my target and extended it for another 30 days. I was playing the algorithms. I felt like I could do better with another 6 days, and I was honest about that. But at the same time, it puts you back up towards the top of the list because you're performing. That's what it's looking at: new things and things that are coming, projects that are coming to an end, and they go up the algorithm listing. Something that I'll be doing this time as well is I'll start with my total being lower. It's still a business. I still have to make sure that I hit a certain level, but this time my level doesn't need to be as high simply because I'm working with Arrow and I'm working with other people, and I can afford to say, right, okay, I'm going to take the opportunity to take this down. That being the case, I could potentially hit 200% far quicker, and that would put me up towards the top of the algorithms as well. So there's a certain amount of playing you're doing here, but what that is like, I haven't hit my goal in the first 30 days. Absolutely nothing wrong with going for the full 60.
Yeah.
I kept the revolt book. I kept the revolt total low and kept the goal flexible on purpose because I was going to print the book regardless.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all to do with.
But also, just because you're able to extend, that goal to 60 days doesn't mean that your job to promote the book stops.
Yeah,
you still need to work it. And it's like, because like I said, it's like we've seen a lot of people online where it's like they think that all they have to do is show up.
Oh no.
And it's like, that doesn't, I'll just coast it for 60 days. It's like, no, that's not how that works. You still have to work it.
No, I mean, lessons learned. I came into it knowing that I would have to do marketing, that I would have to come on and speak to people. I mean, as it was, I'd already kind of come onto YouTube, been in groups, spoken to people, so I hadn't just turned up. But the lesson learned was how much time that actually takes up out of your day, and how tiring it is. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to work maybe 50 to 75% of your full availability, because you're going to be tired and you're going to be doing stuff in the middle of the night. Certainly from the UK, I'll be doing stuff in the middle of the night and doing all kinds of weird hours for that 60 days. And then once that 60 days is over, as we were saying earlier, if you're still in demand, if you don't have a channel, or if you don't have outlets where people can approach you, see you, where you can be available, then find a way to do that, because otherwise your campaign or your in-demand store will just dry up.
Right.
It's not gonna attract people without you going out there and being available and being visible.
That was standards and practices on the phone telling us to cover more of the chat.
Cover that chat.
Genuine Comics says awesome. Guilt Bug says congratulations.
That's the
that's
warehouse.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's all the warehouse stuff. Yeah.
John Celestri says deliver your crowdfunding fulfillment perks on time with quality.
Yeah, exactly.
I've done 6.
John knows his shit.
Yeah.
Glenn is Glenn of Monsterland was agreeing with Glenn Fleming, who I on a post I didn't post, says I wouldn't dare put a campaign up before I'd finished 99% of the project, and the last 1% would be posting the damn thing.
Oh, right. I wish it was 1%, mate.
Yeah.
If only.
Yeah, but also it's like to dovetail off of what Russ was saying, the promotion is the reason why I don't know how anybody would even think they could work on the physical comic at the same time while having to do that much promotional work for the campaign itself.
I did. I had no choice, but I wasn't aware how much time it would take. I think all you've got to do is be realistic about you're not going to be doing 8 or 9 hour days
Right.
through that 60-day period.
Mm-hmm.
We have Krista Grant
Hey.
in the house blowing smoke into her camera. Good morning, Krista. How are you?
I am tired.
Did you get that situation figured out?
Not yet.
Okay, get that done. Sarah says, Varian Grant, we love you. Much love to you. Congrats for the delivery. I want to dive into the packages.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, nothing like fresh, hot piping comics.
Varian is such a cutie.
Marvy says, congrats, my friend. Sarah says, I'm going to have to only take a portion of my money as I hit the road or I'd go broke after each con. Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Yep. We know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Joe agrees. Yeah. Dory says she's describing exactly why it's taken me this long just to get a pre-launch. I had to see a product first.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, because me personally, it's like, it's just, I just, it's not that, I don't know. I guess to be blunt, it's like, I don't trust myself under too much pressure.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's like, so it's like, if I can do as much as I can in advance, then I can put that brain power into other things I have to work on. Like once I finish issue 3 and 4 of Eagle Raven, I'm already thinking about starting issue 6 and 7. Because it's like I'm getting 5 flatted, and then it's like I have to start penciling issue 6 and 7. And we're talking about books that don't come out, that don't even they're just kissing the end of next year.
I suppose from my perspective, because I knew that I'd still be involved in drawing for other people, that it had to be a combination of things. So rather than me saying, right, from now on, all I'm going to do is Only Death Can Save Us.
Yeah.
If I was doing that, then I'd be more likely to be much closer to finishing the book before I go to a campaign. But I couldn't do that because I knew I'd be working for other people. I knew that I'd be getting other projects in. I have to turn over a salary and do all kinds of stuff. So I could not do that for myself, not yet. But like you've done it, you've gone that process, and you're now in that thing. Like Brian Pulido is like he's in that thing. But I'm still at that starting phase where I'm kind of doing both. So I couldn't do that. But one thing I do is I do trust myself. And I know that if, like, I sat down first. I'm getting some.
Someone's echoing.
Somebody's echoing.
That might be Krista.
It's probably me.
All right, Krista, is there anything else?
No.
Okay.
No, because we're getting a reverb back.
Yeah, we're getting a hard feedback here. That's because Varian's phone might be echoing.
No, it's my phone.
Is it? All right.
Hello.
Did you get that situation straightened out?
No. I'm gonna have to go through all these and separate them.
All right.
We'll
We'll talk off camera.
All right, sir.
All right, buddy. You take it easy. I will call you in a few minutes.
All right, sir. You have a enjoy the rest of the show, everyone. I'm gonna go cry over here.
Yeah, well.
Some alcohol.
Don't cry for too long.
Cheers.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Take care.
Yeah. Crying is definitely part of the comic book making process.
Well, this is like we were saying earlier. I'm not sure if we did it on camera or not, but it's the starting line. And there's always going to be a few stumbles as we go along. So,
see now, like I had a campaign. It was successfully funded. It's for a book of prose. And one of the mistakes that I made, which I will never, ever, ever do again, is have a tier where I said, I will write an original story to put into this thing. Because not only, so when that happened, it was like everything was going great. I had my deadline and stuff, and then my world went upside down and sideways. All of a sudden, I was looking for a home because my landlord came in and said, you have 30 days to move. So I had 30 days to find a house, then close on the house, pack, move. And then I still have other work that needed to be done. And I just finally put in my book order. You know,
I was going to say, there's a horror story right there.
It's just, it was terrible, but it was like all of these things. And I was just like, and trust and believe, like I was in the newspaper business. You have a daily deadline and you have to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was killing my soul every day that I couldn't deliver on this thing. And I'm like, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. And here it is. It's finally like, I'm waiting for my books now to be delivered so I can ship it out as fast as possible. Everything else is here, you know?
At the same time, that's totally acceptable. Like,
right, you know, because life circumstances happen, but you know, but when it comes to comics and stuff, I've got plenty of scripts. I've got 8 pages of artwork already done. It could take me another year or more, you know, before I can budget out so that I can pay for the rest of it. And I'm okay with that because I want that done. I know my budget, I know my limitations and my deadlines and things. I know what's coming. So I have to figure out where my time is. So do I want to launch a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo knowing that I'm that far out? No. You know.
However, if the other way of looking at it from another perspective, crowdfunding is about funding.
Right.
So you could, if you were to crowdfund for the appropriate amount, you could then pay your artist straight up and get it done.
I do see that as a viable option. The other thing is, you know, again, building trust. Building trust. Will people know that I'm delivering? And it's like, it's not like I want to do that yet until this one's done. You know, I don't want to have 2 going at the same time.
No.
One's got to be fulfilled and off my desk and say, hey, I'm good here. You know, you guys can trust me. And the other thing is, I guess prioritizing, because to what you guys were saying, this is not an easy business. If I was doing this in my 20s, there's no way. There's no way, you know. But I'm older now, you know, and I think I have more patience, and I'm taking the time to learn and go, there is a business behind this.
Yep.
You know, and so it's kind of like one of those this past year and a half when I was, you know, creating my scripts and things like that. It was like that shit or get off the pot moment where it's like, is this something that I want to pursue, or is this something because the world's shut down and I happen to be orbiting all of you guys? I'm like, no, this ticks off all of the creative juices and in my wheelhouse. I'm like, I want to really push myself, and it's one of the hardest things that I've done, but I love it. You know, I'm hooked.
Yeah. But everybody's got a different way of approaching it. But just as John said, you know, as long as you under promise and over deliver, you'll always keep people happy. Now, like I was saying to you, Daphne, that I felt I put down my deadline. I put down my delivery date. I knew I had to hit it because I'd promised it. My word is my bond. So if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So I trust myself to do it. The only thing that would stop me is, you know, outside
volcanoes, volcanoes, and hurricanes.
And although I know I've got other work coming in, it's not acceptable to turn around. And I've seen this happen on some quite high-profile work. It's not acceptable to say, oh, do you know what? I've got some work in from a movie studio or from a publisher, and I can't finish the book on time.
I never understood that.
No.
I've seen.
You've taken the money. You've taken the money, which means it's a job. It's a paying gig.
Yeah.
If that was your big publisher that you'd taken the money from, you're damn straight you'd finish it.
Right.
So finish what you said you'd do. Stick to your schedules. Right. Okay. Now I know. There's a possibility that I might be getting something from a bigger publisher while I'm in the middle of all this. Okay. I've already scoped out how much it requires and what sort of commitment they're asking from me. And I don't expect it to make any difference to what I'm doing. So I will continue and I will put it on schedule.
Right,
if I have to sit up in the middle of the night and drink large amounts of coffee, then that's what will happen. Okay. Because once you've made a commitment, you get on and you do it. The trouble is
we all saw you on Tuesday. That's not coffee you're drinking.
The trouble is that I couldn't draw anything at that moment in time. The trouble is there
We can
are an
tell.
awful lot of flaky people. There are a lot of people that see the dream and think, "Oh, this is great. Why don't we just draw comics for a living?" And it's like, no,
Right.
don't trust that corporate stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
those people think for some reason that they're in Hollywood, but they think that they're part of this massive.
Yeah,
They're not. They're making comics. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, so just don't get the stars in the eyes. Think this is a real commitment. You're producing stuff. You will have customers. Make sure those customers are okay. This is a business. Okay, treat it as such. Okay, and if you do that, it will give you the room to be creative.
Well,
because if you don't treat it as such like that, you'll have nothing.
And one of the points that I wanted to make also was that I'm kind of watching what all of you guys are doing. You know, like how far into your project are you to completing before you launch? Taking Daphne and JD as an example, they usually have proof in hand. So to me, it's not so much that you can't, as a creator, if you're close to having your work done and your funding and stuff like that, that's fine and good. I highly recommend that. But for me as a consumer, when I see proof in hand and I see that she's already invested the time and the money to do that, I'm like, it brings it up in my head, that level of professionalism. Like I know it's coming. And so it's like, it's a psychology thing more than anything. You know, it's not that I don't trust you, but you have to build up that trust bond. However, if you're a creator and you're holding up the proof and you're going, it's ready to print. I'm just waiting for this to end. Yeah. It's like that level of security, like, oh, okay, you know, that notch of professionalism. Yeah. That doesn't mean that you are less of a professional. It just means it's that comfortability, you know.
I know what you're saying, but the key aspect of what you're saying is trust.
Yes.
Building confidence,
building trust
in you as a creator and you as a producer, as a business person. Now, like I started halfway through the production last time. I'll have less of the production done this time, but I'll have a similar finish date. Hopefully, touch wood, I've got people that now trust me. They are confident in me. They are confident in my work. They are confident in my abilities, and so I can kind of manage that balance, as it were. But you need to convince people first. You can't just turn up with a couple of covers and even a great idea and say, look, this is, you buy it now. No, that's not the way it works. So either exactly like you're saying, like that Daphne's a long way down the road now. She's got a whole bunch of stuff in her back catalogue. She's the perfect professional. You can see what's going on, constant visibility of her work, and then she turns up to a campaign and goes, look, here it is, just put your money down, you're going to get it. That's fantastic. That's almost like going to a shop. It's almost like
right. Yeah.
Okay, and then you'll get the other end, which is like me, where I'll say, like, I've already got one in the bag. You know that I'm good for it. You know, I have people that trust me already. I have reviews, what have you. You can find me anytime. I'm always visible. You will get your book on time, and people like that as well. But it's the rest. It's that other portion that just won't ever deliver, and they'll probably never deliver anything.
Yeah.
Or if they do, it will be so hard that they won't deliver a second or a third or a fourth. Mm-hmm. And of course, staying power is a big part of people being confident in you, being present, being available, producing, and getting the work out the door. So that whole level of confidence and trust, it manifests in lots of different ways. But the one thing that absolutely happens every time is deliverables. Deliver on time and a good product, and people will love you. So.
And to put a cap on the conversation, Sarah says, you got to pimp your work and keep on top of it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Absolutely. Meredith, tell folks how folks can find you.
Well, you guys can find me at linktree.com/MEREJ99, or you can go right over to our website, raginabc.com, and find out more about what we do and how to contact us. But we're available. We're all over the social media platforms, and reach out.
Sweet. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah. One quick thing. Hello, Sugar. Nice to see you.
Oh, hello.
Yeah,
And,
we're sorry. We don't mean
Hex.
to ignore anybody that's in the chat except for that fake account that popped
Yeah.
in that we blocked. Asshole. Anyway, whoever you are, eat this. But and we know you're not Ethan. You're not fooling anybody, MF. That's all we got to say. And we appreciate everybody else that was in the chat today that we didn't get to. Hex Allen, Marvi, we're glad we were able to answer your question. Sarah, always welcome. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah. Just one other mention. Glyn in Monsterland.
Yes,
that book.
And Glenn, I need to know who that person is that you referred to in the chat.
Yeah,
that was too busy to talk to his artist. I'm curious to know who that is.
Top creator, Glyn. Top creator.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You can find me on my YouTube channel as Comic Book Black Belt. I do a Monday evening live stream where you can see me draw and talk crap. I'm also hanging around here quite a lot with these reprobates, and I'm also over on Fulton Land on a Thursday morning in the far west. So it's normally just after this show, but I don't think we're on today because poor old Joe's been sick with a coof. I don't think we'll be on today, but we talk about comics there. It's great. It's great. The chat is great as ever with all these things. All the chat is what makes the shows. You can also find me at russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find out more about the book Only Death Can Save Us, onlydeathcansavus.com. You can even buy a retail version of it from your retailer via Arrow Comics. You can also find me on the Twitter, on the Fleecebook, on the Instagram, on the Minds, and a few other places as well. Just tap my name and you find me. Come find me. We can talk crap about comics, but no drama, please.
Paul, good morning. Hello, and sorry, we must be going. Daphne, tell folks how they can find you.
Sure. You can head over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I post to Facebook if you're into seeing sketches and current work in progress. Also, what you find at EgoWorks is a link to my pre-launch page for Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, issues 1, 2, and 3 on Kickstarter, premiering September 20th. Wow. So, yes, Kitty approved.
Kitty approved.
Yeah. You can also read the first 5 issues of Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn in its original black and white format. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a Lord of the Rings type adventure, you can follow the links to Tall Tales online and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. So everything you can find me at eagleworks.com.
Great. Let me switch back here. Give me just a second. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening to us today, especially folks over on Indie Volt Radio. We know that you're out there. We deeply appreciate you listening. We don't have radio numbers today because Varian is obviously not in front of the board. It's been us the whole time, and we deeply appreciate you. We will be back again on Saturday for Backer Shots, which will be coming up at 2:30 Eastern time on Saturday, where it's a game show type situation where we have people pitch their campaigns, and then the most entertaining of those pitches decided upon the judges, which is usually Brandon, who's running the show, will be backed by Indie Volt for on their campaign. Then we'll be back again Saturday night on Lola, the Indie Princesses channel, where she does backer shots, where she does a shot for everyone backing a campaign that's on the air. So that gets a little sloshy, so it's not quite on in the Indie Volt channel. Trying to be respectable here. No, just kidding.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Then Sunday morning, I'll be on again with Daphne, hopefully on Sunday Funnies, where we're aiming for an Arrow special this year. I almost said nice
Russ, how are you
pussy,
getting
Russ.
how are you getting any work done?
The jokes write themselves, folks.
Yes, they do.
I'm being attacked by a gang of pussies. I'm sorry.
There are worse ways to go.
Sunday morning, on Indie Volt, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Sunday Funnies. We'll be talking Arrow Comics again on that and showing off some of this great product that you saw boxed up just a few minutes ago. Then Sunday evening, JD Calderon has a program also, Indie Comics Explained. I believe it's called over on JD's channel. We'll be talking Arrow Comics again over there as well. And then Tuesday night, there'll be the Livewire program at 9 p.m. on the Indie Volt channel. We'd love to see you back then. And then again on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. is Geekgasm, where the Indie Princess, Daphne, Meredith, Nita, and whoever else they can find to get on board all talk about geekdom and nerddom and comics from a more feminine perspective. So we want to remind everybody that if you do have a campaign or you are thinking of running a campaign in the future, to jump over to GeminiComicSupply.com and buy Gemini mailers. It's the best way to ship your products out to your customers, to your backers. And on your way out from ordering those great Gemini mailers, use that coupon code VOLT10, VOLT10, and get 10% off of your order, courtesy of Indie Volt Radio, and those great folks over at Gemini Mailers. So it is a quality product, folks. We're really happy to. I bought my last box of Gemini Mailers using that code. Come in handy. So it's all good. Other than that, I'm just trying to think of anything else. I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Facebook. I've been running my email address down here. You can find me there. Arrow Comics 4.0, which we just have more product out. It just hit the docks, buddy. I can't wait for folks to see it. It's some great stuff. And then next month's books are going to be hot as well. Just a lot of fun. Having the time of our life here, trying to bring more product to the retailers.
Yeah, yes, we are. I mean, I can honestly say that. Yeah, we are.
Yeah. I caught myself complaining that I was coloring because I was working on the colors for Calico and going, and then I said, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because you're working in comics and it's what you love. So.
Constantly have to pinch myself and say, was this real? What's going on?
Exactly. Especially when you're working on your own stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whole different perspective. Everybody take care. Make sure you leave this industry in better shape than what you found it, please. And Daphne, say it.
Buy independent comics, especially ours.
There you go, folks. More information Sunday morning, Tuesday, and we'll be back again Thursday in the at 9 a.m. Eastern time for another episode of BrEaKfAsT BuZz. Maybe a little bit more coordinated than we were today, a little bit less hectic, but we'll see. Probably not, though. Probably not. Everything's crazy now. It's just going to get crazier. Don't forget the Indie Volt Awards coming up on September 18th. I think that's all I can talk about for now. So let's go out on the usual way. Anybody else have any final words? No? Okay, here we go.
And who's your favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
Can you hammer a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis?
Not right now.
A girl's gotta have her standards.
What the fuck is the matter with people in this business? Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.